Hello everyone, welcome back to the Rashang Zone. So I've been using the Steam Deck for more than a year now, and today I'll share my honest 1 year review for the device. In this video, we'll primarily cover the performance and the battery life for the Steam Deck, as those are the most important things we look for in a handheld device. So let's get started. Performance wise, I think Steam Deck is pretty solid, but it also depends on the games you're playing on it. For example, if you want to play newly released AAA games which are graphics heavy, like Resident Evil 9 on Steam Deck, you certainly can do that. But would it run those games perfectly? The simple answer is no. The hardware in Steam Deck is already more than 3 years old, so it doesn't hold up when you want to play these newly released games with either higher graphics settings or with higher FPS. So you can play Resident Evil 9 on Steam Deck but with low settings. And this applies to all the new AAA games where you'll need to sacrifice the graphical fidelity and performance to make it stable on Steam Deck. But on the other hand, if you want to play slightly older games or smaller indie games, the Steam Deck is perfect for you. Older games like Elden Ring, Cyberpunk, GTA 5 or The Witcher 3, they run smoothly on Steam Deck with either medium or high settings. So if you're planning to get a Steam Deck to play new games with either higher FPS or with high graphic settings, then I'm afraid this device is not for that, as it just won't be able to run those games perfectly. Now coming to the battery life, this is where things get a little tricky, because performance of the game would have a direct impact on the battery life. For example, if you want to play your games with higher FPS or with high graphic settings, then the battery life would drain much quicker. And on the other hand, if you restrict your games to 30 FPS and use either low or medium graphics preset, battery life would be significantly better. So it's really up to you what you want to choose, better performance or good battery life. For me personally, I choose the battery life over performance because one of the primary reasons I got the Steam Deck was to play games when I'm either traveling or don't have access to my regular PC. And it truly delivered on that promise. I used to dread traveling by train because of all the delays, but now I actually look forward to them as I get to spend more time gaming on my Steam Deck. Generally speaking, for indie or lighter games, you can get around 4 to 6 hours of battery life. But if you're running AAA games, battery life would last around 2 to 3 hours. Here I'm playing Stardew Valley, which is a very light game to play on Steam Deck. It doesn't demand a lot. So for this particular game, you'll get a lot of battery life. So if you go and check settings, as of right now the battery is at 88% and we'll get around 7 hours 50 minutes battery life for this particular game. And as of right now, I have not optimized the game at all. I haven't locked the frame rate, nor I have enabled TDP settings for this game. So because of that, as of right now, I'm getting what, 7 hours 55 minutes. Let's see if it makes a difference when we try to lock the screen rate and enable TDP settings. So if you just scroll down over here, the refresh rate is not yet locked. Let's disable that and try to lock the frame rate to 30. Let's see if that makes a difference. So we'll just lock that to 30 and we'll enable the TDP and we'll set that to 3 watts. Because as it's a very small game, it doesn't demand a lot, so we'll try to put that to 3 watts. And so as you can see, there's a slight lag in the game. So yes, you'll have to play around with the optimization, you'll have to play around the settings to get the right thing or get the exact thing what you want from the game. So let's try to bump it to 5 watts. And that should help. And now if we check the battery life, it jumped to 8 hours 30 minutes, around 8 hours 20 minutes. So before I locked the frame rate and enabled the TDP settings, the battery life was around 7 hours 50 minutes, and now it's jumped to 8 hours, and it's still climbing, by the way. It's now 8 hours 50 minutes by just locking the screen, by just locking the FPS and by enabling the TDP. So we are seeing a clear improvement in battery life for you. I'm getting a clear 1 hour jump from 7 hours 50 minutes to around 8 hours 50 minutes. So that is the reason why you have to play with your settings. You have to play with optimization. So basically you'll have to choose what you want from your game. Do you want a higher frame rate or do you want a better battery life? Here I'm playing Witcher 3, which is a relatively old game. And as of right now, the graphics preset is set to medium, and right now I'm getting around 52 FPS for this game. And if we check the settings, we are getting around 1 hour 57 minutes. That means around 2 hours of battery life with this game with 86% of battery. So yeah, as I've told you earlier, it depends on the game you're playing. As this is a AAA game, even though it's older, yeah, it is running smoothly around on 45 FPS with a high preset, but the battery life would be really low. It's around 1 hour 55 minutes, which means around 2 hours. So let's try to play with the settings. So we'll try to lower the settings for this particular game. So let's try putting it to low graphics preset to increase the battery life. So if you can see, for this particular game, we have a graphics preset specific to Steam Deck. So I think CD Projekt Red does this for their games. This option is not available for all the games, but it's there for few games. So I know it's there for Cyberpunk and it's there for The Witcher 2. So you can just click on the Steam Deck preset over here. So if I just click on that, the graphics will adjust according to that. And we'll just go back, and now as you can see, I'm getting locked. I think I'm getting close to 60 FPS right now. Yeah, the game is running really smoothly at 60 FPS, but I don't think it would increase battery life. So if we just go and check the settings, yes, the battery life is still the same, because again, I have not optimized the game. I have not optimized the settings as of right now. So the battery life is still around 2 hours. So let's try to lock the frame rate and see if that helps. So we'll go over here, we'll refresh this, and we'll set it to 30 FPS. Yes, now set to 30 FPS, and we'll also enable the TDP limit for this. Let's try to set it to around 8, because as this is a bigger game, it will take a slightly more power compared to what we did with Stardew Valley. So let's put this to 8 and check. Now game is locked to 30. Yeah, it will run smoothly. It's just what you want, like how much battery life bump we got now. So if we go and check, now the battery life has increased to 3 hours 18 minutes. So this is, and it's still climbing. It's 3 hours 20 minutes now. If you remember, the original battery life was around 2 hours. Now it's up to 3 hours 30 minutes. So it's a clear 1.5 hour jump from 2 hours to 3.5 hours just by locking your frame rate and enabling TDP settings. So again, as I've discussed earlier, it depends all on you, like what you want from a game. Do you want better performance, better graphics, better frame rate, or do you want to prioritize that battery life? Now, not everything is perfect. Steam Deck is still not officially available in India, so you'll either have to import it or buy it from third-party sellers. I already have a video on that topic, linked down below. But even with those drawbacks, the Steam Deck still feels like a game changer to me. Valve is consistent with updates, new games are optimized every month, and the community is super active with mods and other tweaks. For me personally, it's become my go-to device for gaming, whether I'm chilling on the couch or traveling. That's my 1-year review of the Steam Deck. To be honest, I don't use this as my primary gaming device, and if you're planning to buy this as your primary gaming device, I don't recommend it, because you'll never be able to play games at their full potential. In my opinion, Steam Deck is best used as a secondary device, but again, that's a personal choice. If you want me to do a video on full performance test on any specific game, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more gaming content. And as always, game on my dudes.